So today there's going to be no playing whatsoever, so some of you may like that. Fuck you. Yeah, we're just going to have a look, like a quick look, at the difference between the Harley Benton Sc Custom and the LTD Ec 1000, which it's kind of model I would probably say that it's probably modelled off the Esp Eclipse, maybe, but who knows. But it is a copy of that style guitar. So I have recently bought the LTD Ec 1000, which is here, and it is absolutely beautiful. This has been totally bastardized by its previous owner, but that means that I bought this for £260, and I quite like it, to be fair. It looks pretty cool, and I love a strip neck, so it suits me. Now, stock, these come with the Tone Pros locking hardware, EMGs, ebony fretboard, you know, just real quality stuff. The Esp Locking Tuners, I think they're LTD ones now. This is a 2008 Korean model. I think they've changed slightly, but not like too much. They're made in Indonesia now, but it's not really a big deal because Indonesians make cool guitars now. As you can see, Harley Benton Amrock, it's an awesome guitar, but we're not talking about that today. So here is the Harley Benton Sc Custom 2. Now, we're just going to go through the differences, how they compare, and do I recommend this? So, here we go. For starters, the headstock, LTD headstock, is clearly the nicest shape. The Harley Benton headstock, it's a bit ugly, but it doesn't really fucking matter. The tuners on this one, you get Grover locking tuners, and they're really good. This one, you get the Esp locking tuners, and they're really good. Now, body width is exactly the same. Like, it's exactly the same. The cutaway and the accent, you know, the little recess on the back, is exactly the same. The cavity controls, this is the different, like the older model, where the LTDs now are like that. It's like a coffin shaped cavity control, so that doesn't really matter unless you're anal about that kind of thing. The Sc Custom 2 has the smooth neck joint, which is actually a really nice feature. The LTD doesn't, but again, doesn't really bother you even when you're on the higher frets. But I would say that this does feel nicer. Now, the fretboards, when you get the Sc Custom, about 8 or 9 times out of 10 it's the disgusting Jatoba, and it's orange as hell, like really disgusting colour orange. Now, it does darken a bit over time, but with this one I just got a Sharpie and coloured it in, and it looks a million times better. This one, ebony, and it's absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful fretboard. The frets, I would say, are very similar, but I would say the frets on the LTD are bigger. Yeah, definitely slightly bigger. The feel of the neck, now I thought they would be fairly similar, but they're not really. The Harley Benton, I don't know if you can see it in the video, is thicker. It's a thicker neck. Now it doesn't look a lot fatter, but it feels a lot fatter. It's like a D profile, and this is more like a C, I would say. The neck is definitely nicer on the LTD, but that being said, it's a nice neck on the Harley Benton as well. But they are different, just so you're aware of that. The pickups on the Harley Benton are, in my opinion, trash. They're underpowered. If you're playing like pussy music, they'll probably be fine. But if you're playing rock or metal, they're not suited for that. They just sound garbage. They're muddy, like I said, underpowered. The pickups on this, you either get the Seymours or the EMGs, so that's cool. I'm not a massive fan of EMGs, so these will be getting swapped out for JB and 59 or a Jazz, one or the other. Yeah, the hardware on this is, you know, it's just your basic Chinese. Well, I think it's a tiny step up from like your cheapest Chinese hardware, but it's, you know, it's nothing flash. So yeah, other than that, they are very, very, very similar guitars. Now these run at £220, but you can get these ones at the minute B stock model for £115, which is an absolute no-brainer. If you want this style of guitar and you can get it for £115, I recommend this one. But if you can find one of these for cheap, over a full price one of these, which are around 220, 230, or you can get them now with the EMGs in, which is, I think they're around 300, I think they're about £100 more, £350 maybe. I wouldn't recommend them, and I would recommend you buy a second-hand EC1000, because for feel, this feels like a high-end instrument. It still feels mid-range for the money. It's really, really nice. Now, I'm not a Harley Benton fanboy, so for me to say that, it's got to be somewhat decent. But yeah, these are made in Vietnam, by the way. And this, Korea, new one's Indonesia. Doesn't really matter. A good guitar's a good guitar at the end of the day. But yeah, so also the fret ends on this thing are rough as hell. Like this end one here looks like it's been chewed by a dog. And the fret ends are sharp as shit, to be fair. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's my thumb just catching on them and being scratched to shit. This thing, fret ends are nicely rounded, so used one of these, new one of these, go for this. Cheers. And I have a video on this guitar where you can hear it, and I have a video on this guitar where you can hear that, so go check them out. Thank you for watching, and whatever you buy, enjoy yourself, just play and have fun. Cheers.